Hello and welcome back to part 2 of me going through every single Generation 2 Pokemon and giving you my favourite card of each of them. In part 1 we went all the way from Chikorita up to Unknown, and now we're going to be going up from Wobbuffet all the way up to Celebi to complete Generation 2. If you haven't watched part 1 already, then don't worry, you can go and watch that after this video as it is linked in the description. And like I said in the last video, I am now going to be going in the order of the generation, so once this generation is done, I will be going to Gen 3, so be excited for that one as well to come up. But for now, let's jump into the rest of Gen 2. We are beginning this video off with Wobbuffet, and actually we're going the most modern we could possibly do. We're doing something that's not even out in English yet, the brand new Glory of Team Rocket set with this really cool illustration route. I absolutely love it. Obviously debuting in 2025. This is illustrated by Saboteur, and there's actually no last solds to be found on this one yet, so this one is unknown. Then we move on to Girafarig, and I actually really like this artwork. It's really cute the way it's like it's giving me like Madagascar vibes. Do you get what I mean? Great films, by the way. Absolutely love Madagascar. But this is from EX Dragon in 2003. Illustrated by Harada, and it was last sold for just £1. Then we move on to Pineco, and I love this little guy. Look at it. Look at this. I love this picture, honestly. The fact that he is a pinecone and he's looking at a real pinecone. I don't know. I just think it's really cute. But it's a Scarlet and Violet promo debuting in 2025. Illustrated by Imagawa, and again, there was actually no last sold in this. I don't even know if it's out yet or if it's coming out in a new set that we haven't actually been released yet, but either way, really cute card, no last solds. Then we have Fortress, and I'm not as big on Fortress to be honest with you, but I think this one's still pretty cool. I think the holo is pretty cool on this one, but from Unseen Forces in 2005. Illustrated by Kusube, and it was last sold for £10. Then we move on to Dunsparce, which quite famously, not a big fan of, so it was kind of a bit like, what do I pick it? And obviously this one I feel like is cute because it has I feel like the Pokemon's kind of hidden a lot, so I'm going to pick this one from Crown Zenith in 2023. Illustrated by So, and last sold for £3.50. Some of the Galarian Gallery cards are some of them are like £7, some of them are like £2. It's quite funny to have a look at. Then we have Gligar, and I feel like this one's really cool. It just matches the kind of Pokemon, and the, I don't know, the forest vibes look really nice in it, but we're from Fusion Strike in 2022 here. Illustrated by Tatsui, and last sold for £1. Then we move on to Steelix, and I actually love this card. It is such a cool card. The holo is so cool. I don't know if it's from the same set. It's from Unseen Forces in 2005. I don't know if it's from the same set as the Flareon that I picked in my Generation 1 video, but the holo looks very similar with the swirl sort of effect on it, but such a cool card. Illustrated by Ueda, and it last sold for £58, which I'm glad it's not a really cheap one because I would be like, this deserves more. Then we have Snubbull, and this, let's be honest, not a big Snubbull fan. I love dog Pokemon, but this one, Snubbull is just not great. I just don't like Snubbull, but it's from Heart Gold Soul Silver in 2010. Illustrated by Sugimori, and last sold for just £1. Then we have Gramble, which unfortunately falls under the same trap. I'm just not I prefer Gramble over Snubbull, to be fair, but still would never say I like them. But this one's from Call of Legends in 2011. Illustrated by Mizu, and last sold for £1. Then we have Quillfish, which again, we've done a few in a row now that I'm just not really a fan of, but yeah, no, Quillfish, not a fan of, but I picked this card because he looks stupid. So for picking a Pokemon that I don't like, I was like, let me pick a card that makes him look stupid to make it feel a little bit better. But this is from Shining Legends in 2017. Illustrated by Nagasawa, and last sold for £1. Then we have Scizor. We are now moving on to someone that I do very much like. And again, it's quite famously known that I do not like bug Pokemon, at all. But Scizor, such a cool Pokemon. The design is so cool on it, and it was really hard to pick. I remember I took a while to pick a card for Scizor because, again, a bit like Scyther, I really like the actual, the full model of the Pokemon, but I didn't like going with this one here from Team Rocket Returns in 2004, sorry. But this one doesn't show all of its body properly, but I think it's too cool to not pick it. It's such a cool, and again, it has that same sort of holo effect, so I just think it's such a cool card. And it's a pretty big one as well. It was illustrated by Koike and last sold for £370. Another one that I do absolutely love, we have Shuckle. I think he's such a cute little guy, and I very recently caught a shiny on Pokemon Go of him, so that was fun. But this is a Heart Gold Soul Silver promo card from 2010. This is illustrated by Match and last sold for £7. Next up, we have Heracross, and I had to throw it all the way back to Neo Genensis in 2000 for this one, because you see the little pincer like things are coming out in the corner. I just think, yeah, I think it's a really cool card. Illustrated by Sugimori and last sold for £21.50. Then we move on to Sneasel, and again, just another really cool holo. Like some of these vintage holos that I'm like discovering through doing this video, it just looks so cool. Obviously, I've seen them out in the world, but I haven't like been able to analyze them properly sort of thing. So it just looks so cool, and I can only imagine how good it looks in person. But this is from Team Rocket Returns in 2004. Illustrated by Ueda and last sold for £110. So again, pretty pricey. Then we have Teddiursa, which was very hard to pick between because, again, like other ones I've had to pick, it's basically a competition of which card is the cutest. I do love Teddiursa. It's a very cute one. But this one, it's so cute. Like there's more of them in the back. They're playing with the honey. It's just like, oh, I love it. From Legendary Treasures in 2013. Illustrated by Kirisaki and last sold for £1. Then we move on to Ursaring, and I absolutely love this card. Just like the way he's chilling out and his facial expression, absolutely love it, from Skyridge in 2003. Illustrated by Arita and last sold for £9. Then we have Slugma, which I actually really like Slugma, the line of Slugma, but I couldn't really find many cards that I really liked, but I ended on this one here, which I'm still pretty happy with, but it's from XY base set in 2014. Illustrated by Himeno and last sold for £1. Then we have Macargo, and I do love Macargo. I've said that before on my channel, but I do love this guy. And I feel like this one, I don't know, the border is so cool, and obviously the artwork of the actual Pokemon is good as well, but the border contrasting it just looks so good in my opinion. But it's from EX Dragon in 2003. Illustrated by Koike and last sold for just £16. Another one of my cutie loves in Generation 2, Swinub, and I had to pick this one, this brand new one from Journey Together in 2025, because it's my favourite illustration rare from the set, so I had to pick it. Illustrated by Ipan and last sold for £7. Then we have Pillow-Swine, and I had to go with this one because it included Swinub, and I was like, oh, I love Swinub more than Pillow-Swine, so I was like, why not just like cheat and merge them together? But this one is from Neo Destiny in 2002. Illustrated by Baba and last sold for £6. Then we move on to Corsola, and I do love this card. It's so pink. I mean, I think my channel kind of gives away that like pink is my favorite color, but this is just so cute, and the little one in the corner looks so happy. It's just so cute, from Unseen Forces in 2005. Illustrated by Himeno and last sold for £2. Then we have Remoraid, not a fan of Remoraid, but this artwork's pretty nice, from Journey Together in 2025. Illustrated by Minahamu and last sold for £1. Then we have this lovely Trainer Gallery card of Octillery from Brilliant Stars in 2022. Illustrated by Komatsu and last sold for just £3. Then we have Mr. Santa Claus himself in the Pokemon world. We have Delibird with this beautiful card from Heart Gold Soul Silver in 2010. Illustrated by Sui and last sold for just £1. Then we have Mantine, and I actually prefer, this one has a Remoraid in it, and I prefer this card over the other Remoraid, so I could cheat basically, but I'm not going to. And it's from Astral Radiance in 2022. Illustrated by Okacheki and last sold for just £1 again. Then we have Skarmory, and there are so many really good Skarmory cards. I feel like it's one of the best bird Pokemon in my opinion, but I feel like this one's just so cool, and it really shows off, like, you don't really think of Skarmory being like this metallic, so I feel like just like the realism on this illustration rare from Surging Sparks in 2024 is just, it's really cool, and it makes you look at the Pokemon in a different way as well, so I had to pick this one. Illustrated by Wada and last sold for £9. Then we have Houndour, and I love this card. I feel like the holo on it is so cool with him popping out through the grass, so I had to throw it all the way back to Neo Discovery in 2001. Illustrated by Kusube and last sold for £39. Houndoom is up next with this really gorgeous card. I think I said it before that I love this sort of effect when there's like a really cartoony artwork but then the holo in the background. I think it's just a really cool effect, from Neo Destiny in 2002, nearly got that wrong there. Illustrated by Himeno and Last Soul for £57. Then we have Kingdra, and I knew exactly where I was going with this one. It was another one of those ones where I was like, I'm not really even going to look at the other ones that much, because I knew exactly that I was going to be going to this Scarlet and Violet promo card, because boy, this has got to be one of my favorite cards, like maybe even ever. I don't know, just the artwork on it. I know I've said it before as well, that I love like the Japanese wave artwork, hence why my mat, and even like my mouse mat right here, literally is the same, see? So you can probably tell why I absolutely love this card. From 2024. Illustrated by Akagi and Last Soul for £23. This one bounces around all the time. Then we have Fampi, and again, another one that's quite hard to pick because there's so many really cute ones, but I did end up going with this really cute one from Surging Sparks in 2024. I just think the cartoony artwork just really suits it. Illustrated by Sobateri and Last Soul for £7. Then we have this really cool Donphan card from Neo Destiny in 2002. In my opinion, it looks like it's like straight out of the anime, which I think looks really cool. Just the artwork on it makes it look like that. And then obviously it shows off the entire Pokemon really well, which I said before I quite like in a lot of cards. So really like this one. And it's illustrated by Yoshida and it will Last Soul for £43. Then we have Porygon 2, which I kind of struggled a little bit, but I feel like this one I picked in the end because it kind of matched the Pokemon's vibe sort of thing, from Lost Origin in 2022. Illustrated by Okacheki and Last Soul for £1. Stantler is up next with this really cool card from Secret Wonders in 2007. Illustrated by Saito and Last Soul for £1. Then we have Smeargle, and again, this is another very obvious pick in my opinion because I absolutely love this card from Silver Tempest in 2022. Illustrated by Oshiyama and Last Soul for £2.70. Next we have Tyrogue, and I feel like this card is probably as good as it's going to get for Tyrogue. I'm not a huge Tyrogue fan, but it's from Legends Awakened in 2008. Illustrated by Himeno and Last Soul for £1. Then we have Hitmontop, which I think is one of the most stupid Pokemon ever created, in my opinion. They should have left it at Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. It was absolutely fine. We did not need this guy. But I ended up picking this one from Anti-Forces in 2005. Illustrated by Nakamura and Last Soul for £1. Then we have Smoochum, and I think this card is really cute. Not a huge Smoochum fan, but this card right here is a very cute one from Surging Sparks in 2024. Again, sorry if I butcher this one, but this is from Suruta and Last Soul for £1. Then we have Elekid, and I love this card. Like I said before, I like when it kind of matches the Pokemon's, like, I don't know, vibe or whatever. It matches the Pokemon. It really does in this one from Triumphant in 2010. Illustrated by Tokiya and Last Soul for £1. Another one here where I pretty much knew exactly where I was going because it is this beautiful Magby illustration rare from Paradox Rift in 2023. Illustrated by Nakai and Last Soul for £13.50. And I'm very happy that this one is a bit more pricey because it deserves to be a bit more pricey because it's got to be one of my favorite illustration rares. Don't even know why, I just love it. It's just so cute. Miltank is another one where I'm not a huge fan of the Pokemon, but I absolutely love this card from Stellar Crown in 2023. I may have pulled it 1,000 times, but that does not change the fact that it is a beautiful card. Illustrated by Nishida and Last Soul for £3.40. Then we have Blissey, and this one's actually a really hard one because there are a lot of cards that are vintage and look so good, and there's a lot of other modern ones as well that I really like, but I did end up going with this one from Chilling Reign in 2021. Illustrated by Suita and Last Soul for £24. Then we come on to the legendary dogs of the region. Now this trio is definitely, I very much love the legendary dogs, but we're going to start off with Raikou, and again, all three of these took me a very long time to pick one because they're all their cards are really cool, and I love the cards that kind of show off the Pokemon as well because I really love, not as much, but yeah, I'll get to it, but Raikou especially, there are so many really cool Raikou cards, but this one in particular, I feel like it shows off the Pokemon really well, and like I kind of said with like Elekid and stuff like that, it matches the Pokemon. He's like literally jumping through the sky with all this lightning and everything like that. It just looks so cool, and it's from Call of Legends in 2011. Illustrated by Hota and Last Soul for £42. Then we move on to arguably my favourite legendary Pokemon, like, out of the whole entire Pokedex. I feel like I need to have a look at all of them, but like I've always said Entei's my favourite, but I feel like I need to have a better look at all of them to make sure I have like a final decision on that before I, justify it completely, but it took me a very long time to be able to pick one because, like I said, he is one of my favorites, and I do actually collect Entei cards as well. So very nearly picked some that were very, very close to again. May pick another one if it was a different day, but I ended up picking this quite niche one actually. It's a 10th movie promo from 2007, illustrated by Himeno and last sold for just £13.20, so it's not even that bad. Then we move on to Suicune, the last one of the trio, and again, really hard to pick, but I do love my like icy sort of snowy vibes, cards, artwork, whatever. So I did end up picking this really, really gorgeous alt art from Crown Zenith in 2023. Illustrated by Furusawa and last sold for £31. Then we have Larvitar, and again, there's a lot of really, really cute ones here, so quite hard to pick, but I did end up going back to my McDonald's promo in 2002 that I for some reason like a lot of the cards for. Illustrated by Irita and last sold for £32. Then we have Pupitar, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do quite like this one, like he's kind of just peering out of the bush sort of thing, from Delta Species in 2005. Illustrated by Fukuda and last sold for £1. Another one that was very hard to pick because a lot of the vintage cards are absolutely gorgeous, but I do have a big love for this amazing, amazing, amazing alt art from Battle Styles in 2021. This is illustrated by Hyogonosuke and last sold for £115, so another one that kind of bounces around a bit really. Then we have Lugia, the big boy Lugia, and again another really Then we have Lugia, and this one was kind of hard because I wanted to pick one that kind of showed off the whole Pokemon really well, and I think this one does really well from Acropolis in 2003. Illustrated by Kimura and last sold for £69. Then we have this amazing Ho-Oh card, which has an amazing border. The artwork in the background's amazing. The holo is probably absolutely stunning from Call of Legends in 2011. Illustrated by Hakozaki and last sold for £64. Then to finish it all off on Generation 2, we finish with this amazing Celebi card. I do love Celebi, so again, another really hard one to pick, but I ended up picking this one from Unseen Forces in 2005. Now this is illustrated by Ueda, and the last sold literally span all the way from like 156 up to like 350, and I can't see any difference in the quality of them. So I'm just gonna say that some for like 250. So I'll say last sold is 250 because it's kind of like in the middle of all the last solds. There you have it, guys. That is the end of me going through every single Generation 2 Pokemon and giving you my favorite card of each of them. Now, like I said, if you haven't watched part 1 already, then make sure to go and check that out now because there's going to be 50 more Pokemon for you to have a look at, and I hope you do enjoy it. And of course, make sure to stick around because the rest of the generations will be coming up as well. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of today's video, and let me know in the comments as well what generation you're looking forward to, because I've had quite a few comments about people going like, oh, I'm looking forward to Gen 4 or anything like that as well. So very excited to bring that to you guys. But for now, make sure to like, subscribe, share around, all that good stuff. Thank you so much to PokeSwampert and TechPunk Ash for being greatest Loud Team members of my YouTube channel. For now, I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!